Welcome back to Sarita's Garden. It's February 1st. I just had to put my gloves on after starting the video. It's 26 degrees in our yard. So we had, if you saw my video yesterday, we had a really cold night. And I naturally wake up early. I woke up around 3:30 though, just wondering what the temperature was. And that was about when the temperatures went below 32. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. But our mulch pile has steam coming off of it. So we feel like we kind of had a little bit of a berm protecting the plants just to the left of it because that's to the south. And our wind really came from the northwest last night. Brad thought the leaves already looked like that on the bananas, but I feel like they look a little worse, like a little more leaf burn or freeze, or I'm not sure what it's called. But just going to take a quick walk around. One of the things we made a mistake was we never actually put a sensor in the shed and had a sensor outside and checked the temperature differential. It was virtually the same temperature. We were like, so did that even help that we put all the plants in the shed? So anyway, you can see these cords here. For the last couple hours, we put in a little heater. Don't judge me if that's not up to snuff. But anyway, these are the guys that I was the most worried about. These are the papaya seeds that I just started for next year. So I was able to bring the temperature up a little bit in here, and it never got down into the 20s. So that was pretty sweet. I'm going to close it. Sorry for the big bang. So that seemed to work. Putting in the space heater, we did that about 5 a.m. And, so far, like, this is way too soon to know what the damage is going to be. Like this mango, I meant to show this yesterday. This mango has some flowers on it, and those will probably die. But it may flower again this year, so that would be cool. So I just wanted to see if there were any, like, obvious signs of, like, major dislike of the cold. So as we come around here, anyway, it's about 7:30 in the morning. We just had sunrise at 7:07, and we've passed our lowest temperature. That was right about just before the sunrise. This stayed intact. We had gusts in the mid-30s last night and steady wind. I think it was maybe 18, but I'm kind of maybe making that up. I can't recall. We've looked at so many weather reports. You kind of just, it all blends together. Full moon this morning or last night. I'm not sure when the exact time was. It's cold. 26 is chilly. So this is where we had the sensor. You can see that white thing down at the bottom of the breadfruit. Because this is a tropical tree. It does not prefer subtropical temperatures like we experienced last night. So we wrapped up the trunk and the base. We'll just see what happens with the leaves. And again, it's too soon to tell like what might die. But I wanted to just see if there was any immediate damage. So over here, this is the first banana belt we built. Gosh, it's cold. I haven't had a parka on, a down parka on much while living in Florida, and gloves and a full hat, and I'm still freezing because there is still quite a bit of wind, and it is definitely chilly. Okay, so coming around here, this was the mango that we didn't wrap, but has the mulch over. Looks like Mexican sunflower gets a little wilty in the cold. All right, but so far, 26 degrees, that's pretty unheard of. It's the thing that's tricky for us is that the weather report said the low of 30, and it still continued to say that in the app all night. And our weather was close to that, close to the app's weather until about 3:30 when I told you I woke up. And so these guys look more burned to me today. I don't remember that looking quite like that yesterday. Brad didn't think so, but I kind of did. I don't think it looked that bad yesterday. And there is, I think if I'm remembering this right, I think these are of a Cavendish descent. These are actually bananas pups that we just were given. We didn't really know the variety. We know a lot of the other varieties. Like this one is an Orinoco. And behind me over here, which you can now see, these are the blue Javas. They don't have as much yellow. So I'm wondering if it's a little bit species specific, because I think I heard that the Cavendish really don't like the cold. Like they just super slow down. And that's also what's over here against the fence. And those are much more yellow and burnt at the tips. I'll have to go back and look at my video from yesterday and see if I can see any of these same spots and how much yellowing there was. But what I'm at least noticing this morning is that the ones that are more of the Cavendish variety have worse symptoms on the leaves, which, you know, it's a leaf. It's not the whole plant. Again, I mentioned yesterday the corm underneath ground is going to be totally fine and warm and cozy. It just will take longer for the pups to regrow. And the stalks that are currently there may dry up and kind of die. This mostly stayed on. This was our we have a big patio table that has like a fire pit sort of thing in the middle, and this is the cover for it. And I thought, let's put it over the top and kind of hold in the blankets that we have literally clothespined together. Clothespined. Like, how's that going to hold up in 35-mile-an-hour gusts? So the cover got lifted up a little bit, but it didn't come off. So that seemed pretty cool. And this one held totally fine. This was the last minute addition. In my video, we didn't have this covered yesterday, but Brad said, let's cover this one. This is Simmons avocado. We decided to bring out our washing table when we wash like our harvest and produce, and it fit over it really well. And we put several blankets and used duct tape. We didn't know what else to use, guys. We were like, let's see. Plantain looks pretty scraggly over there. That's that guy in the straight ahead. And so again, I'm not trying to give any false hope. I'm just literally showing you that the things we covered stayed covered in the mid 30 mile an hour gust last night. And it was windy. We could hear it while we were sleeping. Also the first time we put our heat on last night. This year, or this winter, I should say. And so yeah, that's it's cold, it's windy, it's coming up on 8 o'clock. We're still in the 20s, so we had, gosh guys, I can't remember when we got into the 20s, but I think it was, I can't remember. But so I think we have had several hours in the 20s. I know it's been at least since 3 that we've been under freezing. So it was cold last night for many hours, and I think it's going to be 9 o'clock today when we start to warm up over freezing. So what we decided, just a little coming back around now that I'm looking at the shed, is we're going to roll in the cart. That we had a wheelbarrow and a cart, and then we have about 10 pots that are just loose. We're going to put them in the garage tonight, because tonight the weather report shows a degree colder than last night. However, there won't be wind. So that may work out well for the things in the yard, like without the wind. That would be better. But the shed would be definitely colder. So I forgot to mention, we did use some of these pots on top of, we have Inca nut planted there. We have 2 plants. This plant did not fare well after the last cold snap, which was, I think, 2 weeks ago now. And that temperature was 31 point something. That was our low. So 26.1 today is definitely our lowest low. So anyway, thanks for watching. There's our update, February 1st from last night in the 20s. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.